Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Flight Simulation News. That's right, we're doing flight simulation. We're going to cover a little bit of Microsoft Flight Simulator and XPlane12 in this video. So stick around because hopefully there'll be something that everybody will enjoy. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. Okay, so starting right out, one of the more exciting points for me anyway is the new Bluebird Simulation 757 previews. Now, we talked about the 757 coming down the line quite a few months back, and then in July we had a few updates to it, which was pretty exciting, but it still wasn't anything that was making, you were able to dive right into. Now we're starting to see some real action here. We got the 757 virtual cockpit just about complete. From what the article states, we just got a few more adaptations and edits to make to the FMS, and as well as some tweaking to the overall systems. But they've even gone as far as already gone through testing with the auto land procedures. So obviously it's making some very significant progress. Now we know that we're going to see two different variants on the initial release of the 757. It's going to be the 200 and the 300 series, both coming with the same engines as far as availability there. But what's actually kind of cool, and people are going to think anyone who knows is probably going to cringe when I say this, but again, I like nostalgia, is that the initial releases will be using CRT screens. For those of you who don't know what a CRT screen is, CRT screen is if you watch any movie from the 90s or the 80s and you look at a computer screen, it's a big giant thing sitting on your desk that's 9 feet long and 4 feet wide and 10 inches thick. It's the old really big TV with the giant box on the back of it. It reminds me of that movie Grown Ups, where the young man asks Dad, what's this thing on the back of the TV? And Dad's like, that's the rest of the TV. Sounds like that's exactly what you're going to see here. So the reason why I'm actually kind of excited by that is because, again, it's going to be another piece of the age of the aircraft that you're going to be able to tell. And so what we should see is different light reflection on it. It should be harder to see at different angles if they are able to model that correctly. So that would be kind of neat. It's going to be interesting to see how they model CRT screens in relationship to LCD or LED screens. So should be a lot of fun. Super excited. The 757 is one of my favorite of the commercial aircraft. I don't know why. There's just something that always has drawn me to, this particular bird. I like the 757 and I enjoy the 767. Either one of them, I would absolutely love to take up to the skies. And I would definitely be grabbing any one of these that comes. But the 757 sounds like it's going to be the first runner up. So super stoked to see this one. Let me know what you guys think about the 757 soon. Hopefully, seeing Microsoft Flight Simulator. Done a fantastic job with the Cessna 414 Alpha Whiskey. Now, you guys, if you have been paying attention to the Cessna 414, then you already know. But for those of you who haven't and maybe haven't purchased it yet, it is a fantastically modeled aircraft that receives very, very regular updates. It has been updated numerous times since I have purchased it. It's extremely well modeled. It is very, very detailed, and you can tell that a ton of work was put into every aspect of the simulation experience. And so this is really good news, and the reason why I mention that is because now they are going to be working on the Beechcraft Sierra Charlie 24 Romeo. Now, here's the reason why I mentioned everything about the 414 first. The reason why they picked the Cessna C24 was because it was the most documented aircraft that they could get a hold of at the time. Meaning that they say, in quotes, the project will be study level product. So the part that caught my attention was that they chose this aircraft because it was the most documented aircraft they can get at this time. Meaning that they don't want to just throw some aircraft out there, put a couple things together, even if they had, the fact that it was the most documented means that they really went above and beyond. That means they probably found plenty of aircraft that they could very easily get away with doing an aircraft on. But they wanted to go with something they had the most information possible so they could make it as realistic and authentic as they possibly could, which absolutely is a benefit to the community, as goes to state later in this article. So FlySimware my hat's off to you. Like, that is a awesome reason to make a decision for an aircraft. I think that shows a lot of integrity, and it shows a lot of pride in the work that they are trying to accomplish with their aircraft. So no matter what, you've got my purchase right out of bat just for that reason right there. I will be purchasing this aircraft the moment it is available. Even if it goes on pre-sale, I will buy it from them right away. That's awesome to me. That I love seeing that. That is a great decision. And it's a pretty awesome little aircraft. I totally wouldn't mind having this in my hangar. Reminds me very much of sort of something between the Bonanza and the Mooney. So kind of an interesting combination there. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. We don't have any kind of release information yet, so cross your fingers. It's sooner than later, but we'll see what happens as time goes on. Announcement, the A319 from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, it's very important before everyone starts jumping for joy or screaming their head off whichever direction you wish to go. It's important to understand this is very similar to the Air 321 series. This will not be a study level aircraft, and it is not meant to be high fidelity either. However, it will be available in the sim marketplace at the time of its release. There is a great YouTube video on this particular link that I will have down in the description that will give you guys a very good idea of what to expect when this aircraft releases. It is not for the detailed, hardcore flight simulation study level experience simmer. It's more for someone who just wants to enjoy the experience of sort of traveling in an aircraft like this and just having a good time. Which I absolutely have no problem with, especially when it is announced right out of the gate. That way there aren't any kind of misconceptions. So here it is right here. The Airbus A319 is not a study level or high fidelity add-on. And as long as they say that, I don't care. Like, and at that point, once you say those words black and white, I don't care what you charge for it either. Because at that point, as long as you are upfront and very black and white, here's what you're getting, then, that's up to the buyer at that point. And if you spent too much money on a product you knew wasn't high fidelity, well, then that's on you. So I'm totally okay with this. I think it's it's a way of reaching out to simmers of all different levels. For us diehard guys, we have the Phoenix A320, we have the Flybywire A320, we have the PMDG aircraft. You have companies like Flight Simware and Milviz, who do a great job with their aircraft and keeping them detailed and high on par with the fidelity. So having a mixture of in between, so that way everybody can enjoy the flight simulation experience in the same kind of aircraft without having to do that deep dive study level, I think is actually a good thing. I don't really have a problem with it at all. By the way, guys, for all of you who always ask about this, yes, this will be coming to both PC and the Xbox. All right, here's one that's going to be interesting. The PZL-104 Wilga 35A for Microsoft Flight Simulator is now in alpha testing and hopefully soon to be in our virtual hangars. This aircraft originated in Poland in 1962 and is a Russian manufactured aircraft. And it was used a Russian, let's see here, I've got to make sure I get this correct. The Ivchenko AI-14 engine went the opposite direction. So I'm thinking about it here. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Our propellers turn to the left. So yeah, this one must turn to the right, right? And I'm second guessing everything that I'm saying, but I think that's right. So what's very interesting about this aircraft, guys, honestly, what caught my attention the most is you're going to have to pay attention to that rudder pedal if it's modeled correctly, because now you're going to be pushing your rudder pedals the opposite direction of where you were actually used to doing it. So I found that to be very, very interesting. I've heard of some aircraft that are like that, but I don't think that I've ever experienced any myself. The aircraft started out as a very utilitarian aircraft. It was able to do skydiving lift as well as glider towing and was used as a trainer. However, in the early renditions of the aircraft, it actually suffered a lot of flaws and failures. But it seemed like the aircraft actually came along to prove to be very nicely, as it sold over 1,000 copies since its original development and conception. So pretty awesome, goofy looking aircraft. And what I mean by goofy is just this front end. Look at that. I mean, the landing gear, everything looks functional. Like, I can understand the purpose to all of it. The flex and retractability there of the bounce, I should say, of the landing gear. I would imagine that's to relieve stress on a short field landing and a hard landing. But even the engine guard there, I can't even think about the word. That's not the word I'm trying to say, but I can't think of it right now, so I'm not going to waste you guys' time trying to remember the damn word. But it looks odd. It looks awkward. At the same token, it's one of those ones like, okay, yeah, I want to try it. It really is. And plus, I'm in their flight in the Caribbean, so naturally I have to do it. You guys know how I am about my St. Bart's, which is right there. So we definitely have to check that part out. So, anyways, so this is going to be a very interesting aircraft to see coming down the line. I don't think we have a release date as of yet, but hopefully it'll be something to come on down the line very, very soon. So, cross your fingers, guys, because I always love seeing more aircraft, and it sounds like we've got quite a few coming down the road. That is going to be the end of the news for Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you guys are interested in some XPlane-12 news, stick around. So jumping into XPlane-12, or the XPlane series of aircraft, we have X-Crafts giving us a brief update on the E-Jet family version 2.0 that is supposed to be coming hopefully sooner than later. Now, they have specified that basically the biggest holdup in the E-Jet series from X-Crafts was the VNAV and LNAV, primarily the VNAV guidance and getting it right. And again, I don't have a problem with these kind of things. I love actually seeing this kind of stuff. I would much rather you just say, hey, this took a lot longer than we thought it was going to. We had a harder time with it than we thought. Whatever you want to say. But, just be real. Let me know, hey, this thing is still broken and we don't want to release yet because you'll get mad at us. You know what I mean? So that's totally awesome. I like the Embraer series of family. I have always liked the E series. I think that they're really cool aircraft. They're fun to do the puddle jumps. And what I mean by puddle jumps, like, short ones like Phoenix to Tucson to, maybe, Phoenix. But like, guys got what I mean, flights like that, flights that are just the real quick regional flights so you can get to your connecting, national flight. Anyway, I digress. So one of the cool things is that there is a patch, by the way, with any current of the ERJ aircraft family from X-Crafts that will allow you to use the same X-Plane 11 aircraft in X-Plane 12, but again, enables you to use the new simulator. By the way, I will say that there is a difference between the two. It's nothing game-breaking, day-changing, but I will say there is a graphics quality and a performance difference between X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. I finally did reinstall X-Plane 11, and I've come to that conclusion. More on that in another video, but I wanted to toss that out for just a second. Again, nothing game-breaking, but it's there. Anyway, which means that I would still call it X-Plane 12 more like a patch. But anyway, digressed again. So with the Embraer series, or the E-Jet series coming from X-Crafts, we unfortunately don't have any release date as of the version 2.0. And but hopefully the new patch their hopes is that the new patch will hold everyone over with the current existing aircraft in X-Plane 12 while they wait for version 2.0. So we'll see what happens. This one I found kind of interesting, and it obviously caught my attention because it's in the same kind of arena that I do with my Patreon site with the tutorial guides for the different aircraft, which, by the way, we've got another one coming this month, so stick around for that. Flying Low releases the X-Plane 12 handbook. I'm actually pretty appreciative of this, and I think the price point is pretty fair, depending on how far it goes, but just with that first screen, it looks like it goes pretty damn far. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of screenshots here so we can get an idea of what we got. Simulator configurations, multi-monitor support, configurations, recommended configured hardware. That can be subjective in my opinion, but if this is his simulator configurations, that might be something worth looking at as well. Button assignments, that is extremely helpful, especially for new people who are starting out. I would absolutely agree with that. I'd also would know some curves there and how to set curves and performance changes. That's a big difference. That is absolutely a good thing. NVIDIA settings, image scaling and sharpening versus X-Plane 12 SFSR. Okay, so it lets you know whether you want to use your hardware or the software to increase image quality. That's a big deal, guys. This is pretty damn good information. It really is. I'm rather impressed by that kind of stuff. So it is nice to see. Let's see what we got here. A table of contents. That's a pretty awesome table of contents, actually. How do I best glossary useful? I like that. That's a pretty awesome table of contents. Damn. I might have to come up with something similar. That was pretty neat. I enjoyed that. Anyway, so the ebook is split into two parts. Part one focuses on the basics, while part two will look at third-party add-ons and tools. That's pretty awesome. So here are the features of the book. Here's the price point here at $15 US, and it can be found from xplane.org. That's pretty reasonable. Now, $10 on my Patreon site gives you access to all of my tutorial guides, and I think I'm at 7 or 8 of them by now. So, $15 for something that provides this kind of information, especially getting into a new simulator. If you are not familiar with X-Plane, the X-Plane configuration, it can be very daunting and it can be very intimidating because the layout's completely different, understanding some of the phraseology, understanding how to, I remember when I first started using X-Plane, just figuring out how to turn on the damn track IR stumped me for a while and it was right in front of my face. So, I appreciate these kind of guides. I really do. But I think that a lot of people may have mixed opinions on that. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think down below about what you feel about this particular book. I personally think it's a wonderful idea, and I wanted to make sure that I shared it to anybody who might be interested in joining XPlane12, and you're new to it and you'd like something to walk you through getting the basics out of the way and getting yourself up and flying. All right, so I imagine this one's gonna ruffle some feathers because it ruffled mine, and I'm not even a diehard X-Plane fan. It's not that I don't like it; it's just I'm not like X-Plane. You know, that's not me. So anyway, flight factor updates the aircraft fleet for XPlane12, but there's some catches to this. So first off, it like I said, it updated much of its aircraft fleet in order to be compatible with XPlane12, such as the 757, 767, and the A320. They have information coming up on the 777 and 787, but we don't have any kind of release date at this time. The A320 update, or the A320 update, greatly enhances the original cockpit product for XPlane12, but there's a new 3D cockpit implementation and a whole bunch of other great jazz. I'll let you guys read through if you choose. The part that I wanted to catch you guys on, and I'm here, you guys ready? All right, this is all in addition to the in-depth simulation of the A320 already available. However, in order to get this update, you will need to pay an additional $20 through a new purchase on the xplane.org. So in order to get this patch where the A320 can be used, and my understanding from what I've read so far, it looks like this is just for the A320. Everything else, it looks like it's fine. You just download it and off you go, if I read that correctly. But the A320, if you guys want the new A320 from Flight Factor and be able to use it at XPlane12, you will have to shell out another $20 in order to do so. Not sure how I feel about that, and I don't even have it. If it makes you guys feel better, I don't even have the aircraft, so it's really not impacting me at all. But it's like one of those, like, I don't know, that one just sort of kind of ruffled my feathers, and I don't even, like I said, I'm not even a part of this, but yeah, I'm having to lay a couple of them feathers back down. But because personally, I think that's kind of crappy, but I'm going to see what kind of controversy this one stirs up, because I'm sure there's going to be people who agree with me, and there's going to be people who, tell me to shut up on this one, which is fine. We're all welcome to our opinions. I'm not opposed to saying something stupid every now and then, so I might have just done that, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think about paying an extra $20 in order to get an update to the Flight Factor A320 in order to use it for XPlane12 and pick up some new features. But I do want to stress that it's not like it's just making it compatible with XPlane12. You are getting some new features with it. But how do you feel about it? Finally, folks, it is finally up and ready. XPlane.to is now available and live. A link to the website will be down in the description below. Super excited for this one. XPlane. FlightSim.to does an absolutely amazing job with the way that they handle their websites and structure their add-ons. So I imagine XPlane.to will be just as fantastic. So you guys can probably count on seeing some new mods, add-ons, and tools videos for XPlane12 as they start to roll in. FlightSim or XPlane.to will definitely be a major resource for me. I just love the way everything is laid out. It makes things significantly easier to manage and figure out where are the things that you were looking for. So it'll be interesting to see how much of the community starts using this. I hope that it's something that really takes off. As always, guys, I truly hope that you enjoyed the information that is found in this video. It was certainly a ton of fun to make. I always love reading about this stuff and then being able to share it with you guys. A big shout out, as always, to fselite.com for all of their information that they provide to the community. And I'm sorry, that's fselite.net. I just caught myself on that one, .net, not .com. They are an amazing resource for the flight sim community and make what we do here, being able to share that out with you guys who don't like to read the articles, significantly easier. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Stick around to the channel. We have a ton of very cool stuff to review this week. Things I think you guys are really going to like no matter what spectrum of the flight simulation side of the fence you're on. Even if you're into space simulation, you may enjoy some of the stuff coming this week, so stick around.